Good evening, everyone. I would like to call this meeting of the regular meeting of the Catholic School Board. And I would like to welcome Chair Mullen, who is joining us virtually, as is Trustee Warren, who is also joining us virtually. And at the moment, I have a statement that's going to be read by Chair Mullen. So I invite you to speak, Chair Mullen.
Turn on the microphone. Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening and welcome. Before we begin tonight's agenda, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge that the Putting Students' Achievement First Act of 2026 was introduced into the Ontario Provincial Legislature by the Minister of Education yesterday. We need to take time to carefully review and understand the legislation and all of the corresponding regulations once more details come available. In the meantime, we will continue to work constructively with the Minister of Education and our partners, keeping our focus where it belongs, on the success and the well-being of our students and staff. As a Catholic school board, our faith and values will continue to guide us how we serve our community and make decisions together. There'll be no further discussion on this matter this evening until we received additional information from the ministry. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Chair Mullen. I'd like to now call on Kira to read our land acknowledgement.
As we gather today from all across the Ottawa region, we acknowledge that we and the Ottawa Catholic School Board are located on the traditional and ancestral territory of the Algonquin people. We recognize their long-standing relationship with this land, which remains unceded. We pay respect to all Indigenous people in this region from all nations across Canada who call Ottawa home.
Thank you. Father, can you lead us in prayer?
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Gracious and loving God, as we gather today in the joy of the Easter season, we celebrate the glorious resurrection of your Son. We pause to quiet our minds and open our hearts to the hope, peace, and new life that Easter brings to our world. Lord, as we reflect on the miracle of the empty tomb, remind us of our calling to be bearers of your light in the world. During these uncertain times, help us to hear the reassuring words of the resurrected Christ. Peace be with you. Rooted in that peace, help us, as leadership of the Ottawa Catholic School Board, to embody Christ's love, compassion, and dedication in our service to our school communities. Bless our deliberations today. May the decisions we make be guided by your Holy Spirit, ensuring that our students and educators and staff are nurtured in faith, hope, and love. As we walk together in the light of the risen Christ, grant us the courage to carry our responsibilities with grace and to always keep the spiritual and academic well-being of our students at the very center of our work. We ask this through Christ, our risen Lord. Amen. We also remember today in our prayers the following persons who have passed away. Emmett Boomauer, a grade 9 student at St. Pius X High School. Fred Wilson, father-in-law of retired Superintendent Brenda Wilson, and grandfather of Krista Wilson, teacher at Sacred Heart High School. Eternal rest grant unto them, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon them. May they rest in peace. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you. Could we all stand, please, for O Canada? We have no faith and focus this evening, and we have no delegations, so we'll proceed to approval of the agenda. Can I have someone move that the agenda for the regular meeting of the Board of April 14th, 2026 be approved as presented? Trustee Coburn and Trustee Melito. All in favor? Opposed and carried. Next, we have a memo from the Superintendent of Planning and Facilities, replanning and facilities caretaking staff, heart of the hallways. If I could call on Superintendent Vala and Mr. Salt.
Good evening, Madam Chair, fellow trustees, and members of the audience. Welcome. I'm pleased to introduce Doug Salt, our Assistant Manager of Maintenance and Operations. He's certainly been instrumental in the oversight of our custodial staff and some of the training and leadership that he does. So he's going to go through a slide deck this evening on some of the good work that we're doing with our care staff this evening. So Doug, can you pass me that clock? Thanks. There you go.
Good evening. I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to present a brief overview of our Ottawa Catholic School Board caretaking team, or as we so aptly call them, the heart of the hallways. This team of close to 400 individuals work day and night to make sure our schools are clean, safe, and pristine. My name is Doug Salt, and I'm the Assistant Manager, Maintenance and Operations in the Planning and Facilities Department. I've had the pleasure of working with this group of amazing professionals for over 18 years. I ask you to think back to your school days, which for me is admittedly a bit of a trek into the archives. What names stick with you? You probably remember a favorite teacher or two who really made an impact. But there is one other person who was just as much a fixture of your daily life, and that's your head caretaker. Individuals such as Giovanni Di Rienzo at St. Pius or Raul Alvarado at St. Veronica are there every single morning. Their steady presence, keeping the building safe, the hallways clean, and the environment ready for us to learn. It's easy to overlook, but our caretakers do so much more than maintain appearances. They are actually They're actually architects of the learning environment. By upholding these high standards, they're directly boosting student attendance, driving engagement, and clearing a path for academic achievement. When a student, staff member, or parent walks into one of our well-cared-for schools, it sends a clear message that their education is a priority and that they are worth the effort. It creates a sense of safety and pride that is foundational to everything we do in classrooms. We aren't just cleaning floors, we are removing the barriers to learning. The environment our caretakers create isn't just clean, it's a catalyst for success. Okay. Yep. Does anybody remember the fable of the elves and the shoemaker? In that story, the cobbler wakes up to find beautiful work completed while he slept. Our caretakers operate in much the same way. While our students and teachers are at home for the evening, these teams are working diligently in the background, often unseen, to ensure that when the doors open the next morning, the environment is primed for success. They are the silent engines behind our high standards. Next. But instead of cut pieces of leather waiting to be sewn, our caretakers start with a scene like this: a classroom where teachers and students have spent the day doing what they do best: working, creating, and learning. It's a space that has been well used, but now it needs a reset. Next slide, please. No, previous slide. There we go. And through their hard work, they turn it into this: a space that is clean, orderly, and safe, ready for a brand new day. I want to highlight a small but vital detail in these pictures. You'll notice that the chairs are stacked or placed on the desks. To a casual observer, this is a minor thing, but to our caretakers, this is a massive win. It's a gesture of respect that allows them to sweep and mop effectively. ensuring the highest standards of cleanliness for our students, staff, and school community. And this is what true collaboration looks like. When teachers, students, and caretakers work in harmony, we don't just have a clean building, we have a successful school. Not only are our caretakers performing their magic after school, but they're also making miracles on holidays and PD days. And I give you an example of the work our caretakers have done over the March break in 2 of our many wood floor gyms. Using state-of-the-art products and techniques, they've rejuvenated 6 high school and 2 elementary school gyms. Here are the amazing results. On the left, we have St. Pius, and on the right, we have St. Juan Diego. Next slide, please. Let me circle back to my last slide where I said state-of-the-art products and techniques. When I was in elementary school, Mr. Moore was our school's caretaker. See, it's not that far of a trek back. I do remember his name. This would typically be Mr. Moore's tools of the trade: a metal mop pail, rusty wringer, heavy metal canister vacuums, an old single-speed buffer, cotton string mops, large pails of cleaners and waxes. And now let's look at the evolution of our tools. We've moved far beyond the traditional mop and bucket to advanced automatic scrubbers, or as they are sometimes called, floor Zambonis. These aren't just faster, they're better, and unlike a mop, which just moves dirty water around, these machines ensure a deeper and more hygienic clean. We've even evolved to ride-on models, because why would you walk when you can ride? And it's not just about comfort, though. It's about maximizing our productivity by making sure our teams can tackle our larger areas in half the time. And finally, looking to the future, the last picture on the right is our advanced SC25 robotic scrubber. This is a fully autonomous and highly efficient floor cleaning machine. And it does the heavy lifting on the floor cleaning so our caretakers can focus on where they are needed the most. The Ottawa Catholic School Board is a leader in this space. We're the first school board in Canada to employ this particular unit. Next slide, please. But investing in our tools is only half the battle. We also have to invest in our people. We lead regular hands-on workshops to ensure our team is expert in the latest industry techniques and technologies. In this photo, we're utilizing the March break quiet time to put our newest casual staff through an intensive strip and wax training session, passing on the skills they need to keep our schools pristine. Once a year, we bring our entire team together for a full professional development day. We want our staff to feel inspired, so we bring in world-class perspectives, such as multi-time Olympian Lisa Weigel and multi-time Paralympian Todd Nicholson. But it's not all lectures. We also lean heavily into team building. Last year, we launched our first custodial Olympics. It was a huge hit. The winners walked away with their names on a trophy, and perhaps more importantly, bragging rights for the entire year. Next slide. We also believe in growth of our own. Our leadership development initiatives, such as Caretaker Leadership Journey, empower our staff to see themselves as more than just technicians. By focusing on critical soft skills and customer service, we're not just strengthening our operations, we're investing in our people who make our schools run. Next slide, please. Ultimately, everything we've discussed here, the technology, the training, and the leadership development, comes together right here. Whether it's our senior head caretakers such as Nick Wyachek at Immaculata High School, a Secorndi at Our Lady of Victory, who both hold decades of institutional knowledge, or our emerging leaders, for instance, Tyler McMullen, shown here, who is actually our newest assistant district supervisor. We are bridging the gap between existence and innovation to ensure our schools remain in the best possible hands. They remain in the best possible hands for years to come. So I'm often asked to define the role of our care staff. And while I could talk for hours about the hard work they put in behind the scenes, it really comes down to one simple truth that drives us every day. And that truth is we do what we do so you can do the amazing things that you do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Does anyone have any comments or questions? Trustee Melito.
Through you, Madam Chair. Thank you for your presentation, Doug. And we go back a long way. When I was in the role of principal, and this was one area I want you to also highlight. I don't think you covered it here, but when community use of schools so when they book the permit to use our schools and walk into our schools, your staff is 9 times out of 10 the first people they see. And I can also, and I can say without a word of a lie that they're key because they're welcoming, they're very supportive, and they open up the school so that the people booking our schools have a positive outlook on the school and a positive experience. And this is really true during our summer school programs, where we get a lot of people coming into our schools, and your staff, I know for a fact, are the first point of contact. And they're very professional, very welcoming, and for that, I thank you, and keep up the good work.
Through you, Madam Chair, I'd like to say that we often, in my mind, I often call our evening staff the directors of first impressions, because they are giving the first impression of our schools.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Through Madam Chair, just to echo the sentiments of my fellow trustee down here. I'm going back now 40 years, but I can remember Mr. Barb at St. John the Apostle. The guy was awesome, just absolutely amazing. But I don't know why I remember him, but he was just always somebody who was just always there with us. No matter what happened, child gets sick, accident happened, something happened in the schoolyard, I found that he was always there. No, not Scott. No, just no.
But through you, Madam Chair, Mr. Barb retired 2 years ago
Amazing.
after all the years at Frank Ryan.
Okay. I was going to ask where he ended up, but that's great. Maybe a little plug here for Guardian Angels, Mr. Ryan, awesome guy, and thanks for all that you do. It's really, really important work that sometimes doesn't always get recognized. So thanks for being here tonight. Thanks for presenting to us. Really, really great job.
Thank you. I too am a former principal, and I can't thank you enough. I know that feeling of walking into a school in September and the amazing state that those schools are in. I also think you underplayed that slide with how dirty the floors get. I know what an elementary school looks like after the kids come in spring with their muddy shoes, and the kind of work that does take place. So I too can't. I echo what Trustee Melito said and Trustee Phelan. You guys doing a marvelous job, and the head custodians of all of our schools take such pride and ownership of their school that I think that's a reflection of the great job that you do with your own professional development and communication with them. So thank you. Trustee Melito.
Just one story. When doing my first rounds as a trustee, one school I went into, the first person who ran up to hug me was a custodian. And that meant a lot to me.
Okay, we do have more comments. Trustee McEwen first.
Thank you, through you, Madam Chair. When I was a parent volunteer, when my kids were at elementary school, I realized very quickly that it was the custodian that was going to be the biggest help to me whenever pizza lunch was coming, or we were doing a craft fair or anything. It was our custodian that I would go to and go, "Where's this? And can I get some help?" So you guys are amazing, and thanks from the parents too.
Student Trustee Kiera.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to say on behalf of the students, thank you so much for the important work that you and your team do, in creating a safe, comfortable learning environment. And a lot of the staff are just so important, have such important relationships with the students, and are such figures of guiding forces for the students. So thank you for your presentation.
Agreed. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, the motion on the floor is that the memorandum from the Superintendent of Planning and Facilities dated April 8th, 2028, entitled Plant and Facilities Caretaking Staff, Heart of the Hallways, be received. Can I have a mover? Trustee Melito, seconded by Trustee Phelan. All in favor? Opposed and carried. Thank you very much. There have been no declarations of conflict of interest, so we'll move on to a confirmation of the minutes of the regular board meeting of March 24th. The motion is that the minutes of the regular board meeting of March 24th, 2026 be adopted as presented, moved by Trustee Coburn, seconded by Trustee Lukatich Byers. All in favor? Opposed and carried. We have no unfinished business from the previous meeting. Presentation and consideration of committee reports and student trustee reports. Committee of the whole, do we have anything to report? We have nothing to report. We'll move on to number 2, memo from the Superintendent of Special Education and Student Services, Special Education Advisory Committee, SEAC minutes of February 18, 2026. Superintendent Benton.
Good evening, Madam Chair. These minutes are for receipt.
Thank you. The motion is that the memorandum from the Superintendent of Special Education and Student Services dated March 27, 2026 and entitled Special Education Advisory Committee SEAC minutes of February 18, 2026 be received. Moved by trustee Moore, seconded by trustee Lukatich Byers. All in favor? Opposed and carried. Thank you. We have a memo from the Associate Director of Business Affairs, re Osta, minutes of regular session meetings of February 23rd, 2026. Associate Director Shimmons.
Thank you, Madam Chair. These minutes are for receipt.
Thank you. We have a motion that the memorandum from the Associate Director of Business Affairs dated April 8th, 2026, containing the Osta minutes of the regular session meeting of February 23rd, 2026, be received. Moved by trustee McEwen, seconded by trustee Phelan. All in favor? Opposed and carried. We have presentation and consideration of staff or trustee reports. Memo from the Superintendent of Continuing and Community Education, reintroduction of student trustees 2026-2027. I'd like to call on student trustees Kiara and Jaden to make some introductions.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Chair, it is our pleasure to introduce the incoming student trustees for the 2026-27 school year, Lydia and Justin Peter. Justin joins us from Holy Trinity High School as a grade 11 student who is involved in a variety of sports teams and extracurricular activities. Through his ongoing success in the OCSB Social Entrepreneurs Program, he uses entrepreneurship as an instrument of advocacy, raising several thousands of dollars for charity and creating initiatives that address student needs in a creative and engaging way.
Lydia, a grade 10 student from Notre Dame, embodies a committed member of her school community. She's an active leader and listener who fosters community and inspires her peers through her leadership as BSA president, peer mentor, and coach for several sport teams. Congratulations, Lydia, and we have the utmost confidence that your passion and leadership.
You're finished? Thank you so much, and welcome, Lydia and Justin Peter. Do you want to, you don't have to, because this is you're just here to not have to participate, but if you would like to make a short comment, I invite you to do so. I don't want to put you on the spot, though. Justin Peter?
Through you, Madam Chair, thank you everybody for having me. I am very excited about this opportunity to serve as student trustee for the upcoming academic year. Just a little bit about myself. I am interested in sports. I am a hockey goalie. I also have an interest in kind of helping others and being involved in my community, as student trustee Kiara said so flatteringly. I am passionate about aerospace engineering, and I am a member of the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada, so I'm into stargazing and all that kind of stuff. Overall, I find I am a relatively curious person, and I am just in general very excited to be a part of this Board of Trustees, and once again, thank you all for having me.
We're very happy to have you. And this must have been an exciting couple of weeks with the astronauts on the TV and the landing and everything, so that's right up your alley. Lydia, would you like to just make a quick comment?
Through you, Madam Chair, I'd just like to say greetings, everyone. As student trustee Jaden has already said, my name is Lydia Asani, and I'm a grade 10 student at Notre Dame High School. I am looking forward to serving the students in our board over the course of the next year and to work alongside every single one of you in this room. My goal is to ensure that our students feel seen and heard in the decisions we make during the next school year. Overall, I'm a very enthusiastic, passionate, and very motivated individual that hopes to support the board in the best way possible. That's all I'd like to say. Thank you.
Well, thank you very, very much. And on behalf of Chair Mullen, who's coming in virtually, myself, and all of the trustees, we're very excited to have you with us. So thank you so much. And if you would like to come up with Kiara and Jaden, we are going to take a quick little picture to commemorate the evening. Sorry, I was very remiss in not inviting the trustees if they had any questions or comments. I just kind of didn't want to put our students on the spot, but of course, Trustee Moore has it. Be kind, be kind.
How could I not? Jaden Peters from Holy Trinity. How could I not be kind? I just want to say, when you got your choice of committees to look at, think policy. Go policy.
She always has to make a plug. I'll invite you up now. I know. Okay, next we have a memo from the Associate Director of Education, Joint Ottawa Catholic School Board and Ottawa Public Health Dental Health Pilot Project. I would like to call on Associate Director Velati and Lynn LaFrance to come and join us.
Good evening, Madam Chair. I'm pleased to be here this evening with Lynn France, who is an OPH supervisor for the Dental Health Promotion Program and Vision Health Program with OPH. Madam Chair, when we think of OPH and the education system, what often comes to mind is perhaps OPH's role during COVID or immunization suspensions. However, OPH provides a number of services to our community, one of which is a dental health services program. Lynn's presentation will provide information about this initiative, as well as how our strong partnership with OPH benefits our school communities, and in this particular instance, how our partnership will benefit some of our newcomer families. So I'll pass it over.
Good evening, Madam Chair and trustees. Thank you for having me. My name is Lynn LaFrance, and I'm the supervisor of the Dental Health Promotion Team at Ottawa Public Health. I'm here to share a pilot project between Ottawa Public Health and OCSB that focuses on oral health education for ESL and LINK learners, many of whom are new to Canada and to our dental system. I promise to keep the presentation simple, no needles, no drilling, and short, not like a root canal. Next slide, please. Or I have it here, okay. Why this project? 45% of the global population is affected by oral disease, many preventable, including dental decay. It's even worse in Canada. 96% of adults and 57% of children in Canada have at least one tooth affected by dental decay. This is important here, as many oral diseases are preventable, especially with early detection. Cost is one of the biggest barriers. 1/3 of racialized Canadians avoid seeing the oral health professional because of it. For many newcomers, it's not just about cost. It's also about not knowing the system. In some countries, even in Canada, some of us only see the dentist when it really hurts. And by then, it's often too late, and an extraction is the only option. With these presentations, with this pilot project, we will try to help learners to avoid these experiences by sharing information on the different dental health programs out there that can cover the costs of dental treatment. For years, we have been offering dental health education to OCDSB and OCSO learners. This year, we're happy to collaborate with OCSB. The presentations were designed with our audience in mind. A few weeks ago, we sent the education modules to the instructors. The education modules include lesson plans, but also exercises, such as having a conversation with a colleague, pretending to call a dental office to make an appointment. Then the dental presentation will be virtual and in person. The registered dental hygienist will deliver an hour presentation, 14 of them, 2 of which will be virtual. They are low literacy, highly visual, and interactive. Some of the slides are children-oriented, meaning that there's information for parents. But we know that the learners are not all parents, but sometimes they can be caregivers or they can become a parent. We cover practical and everyday topics, such as how cavities are formed, the sugar content in common Canadian beverages, children's oral health and early childhood tooth decay, brushing and flossing, and access to dental care programs and system navigation. I think this is the most important one. The pilot project will be at St. Patrick's Adult Schools. It will be next week for 4 days. Altogether, we'll be having 14 presentations and we'll be reaching about 500 learners. That's 500 people who will now know a little bit more about brushing, flossing, sugar intake, and how to access dental care. And hopefully, they will go home and teach others, families and friends. As this is a pilot, the evaluation will gather information from the instructors, what worked well and what could have been done differently. The goal is continuous improvement. Thank you for your time and for supporting this initiative. We are helping learners one smile at a time. Thank you.
So, Madam Chair, this concludes the presentation, but I think Lynn is being modest when she indicates the 500 learners because we see a domino effect from there, having that information spread not only within their families, but also across various communities as well. And we're looking forward to the success and hearing more about the completion of the pilot.
Thank you very much. Does anyone have any comments or questions? Trustee Lukatic Byers.
Thank you for the presentation, through you, Madam Chair. So, first of all, I think this is a fantastic initiative. You know, oral health, of course, but then, as you know, it also has an impact on overall health. So I just wanted to ask, so the focus is and I know that Chair Mullen hates when I do this, but I have a couple of, they're kind of related questions, so I'll fire off. So the focus is on newcomers, but I'm assuming it's not just for newcomers, right? Because I mean, I think there's a wider population that would definitely benefit from this. I guess it's a question. So, and also, is it linked in some way to the relatively new kind of federal initiative related to dental healthcare? So, kind of, is there a link, you know, with the provincial with the federal? And then
Just a sec, let her answer those two, and then we'll let you do follow-up.
Yeah, sorry
because
about
I'm
that.
going to
Yes,
lose
thank
track.
you. Yes, sorry. Thank you.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Chair. Yes, so the pilot project is for learners that are learning English as second language. So very often they're newcomers to Canada learning. Then the second question about the funding, we have an outreach team, and a couple of weeks per year, we do these type of education with newcomers. And so we have an established collaboration with Ottawa Carleton District School Board and OCSO, but we approached OCSB this year and said, you know, this is what we do in other school boards. Would you be interested? And that's how it came together. It's funded through the Healthy Smiles Ontario program. It's not funded through the new federal dental care plan.
Okay, and follow-up, Trustee Lukatic Byers.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so I think I'll just kind of keep it to one question. So as this is a pilot, assuming it's successful, what happens then? You know, is there a possibility to scale this up to a much wider audience. Thank you.
Through you, Madam Chair. Yes, I believe there's English second languages in other schools with the Ottawa Catholic School Board. So yes, that's the intent. If it all goes well next year, at this time, it's usually done in the springtime. Next time, next spring, we'll be able to increase capacity at the other sites.
Thank you. I believe it's Trustee Moore, then Trustee Coburn.
Thank you very much to you, Madam Chair. Thank you for the presentation. It was very good, very different. I was expecting, until I got to the last slide, I was expecting it all to be about the children, the little guys and the big toothbrush. But the question with your adult learners, do you find them very interested in the jobs available in dental health that they may not have been aware of? Whether dental hygienist, whether it's office work or...
Through you, Madam Chair. Yes, the dental assistant program in Ottawa is only 1 year, so very often this is very attractive for newcomers. And some of the students I've heard from my dental hygienists who present that they have discussion after the presentation with certain students that are interested in the dental fields, the different dental careers.
That must be like just real success.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a great question. Trustee Coburn.
Great, thanks for the presentation. Just a couple of things. I'm familiar with a program with similar to this for a vulnerable population, and I'll reiterate how important dental health or oral health is to the overall health of people. You mentioned that you're going to make 14 presentations over the course of 4 days to about 500 participants. Are you going to do any examinations?
No, we don't do dental screenings at that time. It's only the presentation. But one slide, there's a good 5 minutes that is presented on how to access community dental screenings. Each month we have between 13 and 22 screening sites, so we do give information on how to access those.
Follow-up comment. So it's a long time ago when I was at Algonquin College, but the dental hygienist program there used to provide free examinations to students or people there, and I thought that was a very useful kind of exercise. So maybe in the future or something like that, we could look at that. But yeah, it's a great program.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I think we can all agree the importance of dental health and the importance of having our partnership with OPH. So thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, everyone.
Can I have the motion on the floor is that the memorandum from the Associate Director of Education dated April 8th, 2026, entitled Joint Ottawa Catholic School Board and Ottawa Public Health Dental Health Pilot Project be received. Can I have a mover? Moved by Trustee Moore, seconded by Trustee Coburn. All in favor? No, no. I've been to a dentist and I actually have a cavity. I have to go next Friday. What I wanted to say was that I was so incredibly excited about meeting our new student trustees, Lydia and Justin Peter, that I forgot to do the motion. And Chair Mullen, don't listen to this because I did make a mistake. So now I'm going to backtrack. And the motion on the floor is that the memorandum from the Superintendent of Continuing and Community Education dated April 14th, 2026, and entitled Introduction of Student Trustees 2026-27 be received. Can I have a mover? Trustee McEwen and Trustee Warren. All in favor? Opposed and carried. So thank you so much for being so flexible with me. And now I'm going to switch mics. Okay, you can hear me? Perfect. All right, now I would like it's my pleasure to bring a memo from the Superintendent of Special Education and Student Services, evidence-based practices and interventions for system classes, scaling up support, Superintendent Benton, Jennifer Pritchett, Dr. Abigail Ram, and Leslie Somerville. Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm pleased to bring forward the presentation, Evidence-Based Practices and Interventions for Systems Classes. this evening. I'm also joined by the presenters, Jen Pritchett, our principal, Dr. Abigail Ram, and Leslie Somerville, who is our educational consultant. The presentation this evening provides an overview and update of the implementation and impact of evidence-based practices within some of our OCSB systems classes. They will be specifically focusing on improving student outcomes through targeted programming. They'll also outline the evidence-based programs and data tools that our department is utilizing to support students in the junior special needs classes, the life skills classes, and the education for community living classes. Through their presentation, they will be able to show how systematic screening and the progress monitoring data guide our programming decisions. And following the presentation, we will be happy to answer any questions the trustees may have. I'll turn it over to Jen.
Here we go. Through you, Madam Chair. We're very happy to be here this evening to share information about the evidence-based practices that we are and data-driven interventions that we're implementing in the system classes. So part of our rationale for this work is rooted in the Be Well strategic goal. So by meeting students where they are at in their learning journey, we're building foundational skills for adulthood, and we're fostering autonomy and dignity, essential for the long-term mental health and post-21 success of our students. So the Ottawa Catholic School Board offers programming designed to support students across a full spectrum of exceptionalities. Within our inclusive framework, system classes function as a specialized Tier 3 intervention, ensuring that students requiring the most intensive programming receive targeted supports while remaining deeply connected within our inclusive communities. So we do have 8 types of systems class, but this project and the information we're going to share with you this evening is specifically following the junior special needs, the life skills, and the education for community living classes.
4 pillars drive this work. First, we shifted to systematic screening to identify exact student needs. Second, we vetted and then deployed evidence-based literacy and math programs. Third, we've moved beyond a consultation model to side-by-side support, where central staff, including itinerant resource teachers and special education learning partners, coach directly in the classroom. Finally, our interdepartmental collaboration with student success and learning technologies ensures a seamless rollout across the board and various lenses and expertise being utilized. In order to maximize the effectiveness of these initiatives, we had to identify, then implement evidence-based programs and interventions that address the specific needs of our system class students and prioritize explicit instruction and use the I do, we do, you do approach, where skills are transitioned to independence only upon mastery. This is systematic and cumulative, following a rigorous scope and sequence. Programs are also data-driven, whereby we use baseline assessments to determine entry points and continuous monitoring to modulate the intensity of support for every learner.
Translating those principles into practice, we have selected a suite of programs that align perfectly with that I do, we do, you do model. For literacy, our junior special needs and life skills classes utilize the University of Florida Literacy Initiative, or UFLI, and the early literacy and reading skill builders and Lexia, are used in our education for community living classes. In numeracy, for our students with mild intellectual disabilities, we focus on measures and interventions for numeracy development, known as MIND, as well as jump math and pirate math. These are supported by robust data tools like the dynamic indicators of basic early literacy skills, or DIBBLES, for those of you who know it, Acadian's Math, and the Cube 3. And these are used to ensure every instructional decision is backed by measurable evidence. through a cycle that begins with data-driven screening to identify gaps, followed by targeted interventions and progress monitoring. We ensure that programming evolves alongside the student. Our goal, of course, is for our students' skills to improve because we are able to so closely monitor their needs and intervene or respond accordingly. We will now take a closer look at the specific data and impact of two of these programs, the Skill Builder programs for literacy in our Education for Community Living classes, and the Mind for Math in Junior Special Needs and Life Skills classes. So in our Education for Community Living classes, teachers use the early literacy and early reading skill builders. These programs are rooted in the science of reading and are designed specifically for students with moderate to severe intellectual disabilities or autism. They have incorporated into them some key instructional routines that are known to work well with this group of learners. Whether delivered via physical materials or digital platforms, the scripted lessons provide the consistency and structure these learners need to achieve mastery. We are happy to report that the results of these programs are encouraging. Between October and March, students moved an average of 2 levels, with some advancing up 13 levels. We have also been able to learn that, interestingly, the irregular words subtest on the cubed is the strongest predictor of progress. And meanwhile, traditional measures like letter names and phonological awareness have shown lower correlations to actual intervention levels for our students thus far. This helps informing what parts of the program may need to be further reinforced or supplemented to ensure that all components of reading are growing for our students. For numeracy in junior special needs and life skills classes, we implemented the MIND program. MIND targets computational fluency through a tightly controlled scope and sequence. It is designed as a Tier 1 support, but can also be intensified for other tiers. It uses research-proven methods to ensure that learning occurs most efficiently, and it provides a simple, well-organized way for teachers to track growth in foundational math skills. A bit more about MIND. It is implemented daily, and it is skill-specific. It uses a tactile paper and pencil approach that's complemented by taped instruction and teacher monitoring of student work. Each specific skill is reinforced through between 30 to 45 lessons, and mastery data is collected at the beginning and end of each set of lessons to inform decisions about next steps for each student. In terms of the data, using the Acadience Math Screener, we've tracked growth from beginning to the middle of the year, and as shown here on this graph, we see a statistically significant increase in the mean Acadience computation scores for our students. Now, while this is a small growth that occurred, it is significant and meaningful for this group of learners who do tend to learn much more slowly than some of our other learners. Now, when we look at program-specific data for sums to 18, so addition to 18, the growth is even more dramatic. The main indicator of growth in this intervention is the number of problems students can solve in 1 minute, because we're looking at fluency. And as you can see on this slide, for their work on sums to 18, the average problems correct per minute nearly doubled from pre-test to post-test for our students. This again confirms that targeted daily fluency work is successfully helping students bridge conceptual gaps and build mathematical confidence.
Next steps. In ECL, moving forward, our ECL teachers are continuing to implement the literacy programming in their classes. We are utilizing cubed subtests, specifically irregular words and phoneme segmentation, to provide actionable data needed for real-time instructional decisions. This work is supported by our itinerant resource teachers and learning partners who provide weekly on-site coaching. By serving as thinking partners to troubleshoot challenges, they ensure the integrity of our programming while maintaining the momentum we've built throughout the year. In JSN Life Skills, as teachers continue to deliver the interventions and programs, our math learning partner provides consistent weekly support across all JSN and life skill math classes, delivering differentiated instruction through whole class, small group, and individualized interventions. We maintain a rigorous schedule of longitudinal data collection in collaboration with our school psychologist to inform instructional adjustments. For literacy and looking ahead, we are planning upcoming professional development sessions with our literacy consultants to further refine the pedagogical strategies and strengthen student outcomes. Finally, sharing some testimonials from our system class teachers. These are the ECL teachers. ELSB has been a game changer for our instructional design. It provides a clear scope and sequence that has become the backbone of our literacy instruction and goal setting. Another, this journey hasn't just improved our reading instruction, it has strengthened our entire professional network through powerful collaboration. And these are some testimonials from our JSN teachers. Mind Math has transformed my classroom through structured routines and data-driven insights that make student growth visible. The program builds genuine confidence and ownership, while the sibling activities provide a concrete way for students to bridge conceptual gaps. My students aren't just participating, they are developing a deep, prideful understanding of their own progress. Another testimonial, Mind Math has been instrumental in improving student outcomes. The program's consistent routine fosters a focused learning atmosphere, and the integrated fluency exercises have led to significant program-wide growth in math proficiency.
And we'd be happy to take any questions at this time, Madam Chair.
Any questions? Trustee Moore.
Thank you, through you, Madam Chair. I think it's great work you're doing, and it's great to see these kids getting the attention they deserve. I think my question is about, they're on modified programs, meaning that they're not working at grade level. But are they changing, are the types of modifications changing in their IEPs because they're making gains? They may not move to the next grade level, but they are moving through curriculum, is that correct? So their IEPs will start to reflect this, I assume, that they are making gains?
Through you, Madam Chair. Yes, thank you very much for that question. Absolutely. As the gains are happening, we certainly look to modify or change up the expectations as we see the success. Thank you.
Thank you. Supplemental, if you, Madam Chair. So I know oftentimes parents get these report cards and modifications never really change over 4 or 5 years. So this is huge. And I guess my next question is for the superintendent. Is there any way that the ministry can see how much these kids can learn if we give them the tools?
Through you, Madam Chair. Yes, there are lots of opportunities for us to share the progress that we are making with our ministry contacts, so that they are hearing our voice and they are seeing what kinds of programs we're implementing and how we are continuing to move forward.
Jaden.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Chair. I was just wondering if you see any potential outlook for the use of AI tools, or if any of these programs that they're using right now are AI tools, and if they're benefiting the students more than the old practical ways. And even teachers, is it helping teachers at all with managing some students, or?
Through you, Madam Chair. That's a really good question. So these particular programs are involve very explicit instruction. So they really need the teacher to be the one to be driving them and be sort of the main source of information. However, several of them do have digital components to them, in that there is either digital presentation of the work or collection of data as the kids are working through it. And we certainly have used AI ourselves in terms of supporting our data collection, our data analysis, as well as I know teachers have used it to improve some of their own instructional routines and materials in the class.
Thank you. Trustee Coburn.
Thank you. Thanks for the presentation. So I'm just going to say that I found this was an awful lot of material to absorb. So I'm assuming because we're dealing with children who have special needs with regards to this, that you guys understand this better than I understood it tonight. Anyway, that's all to say that it sounds like it's good. Can I ask you a couple of data point questions? The first one was, I think I heard that under early literacy and skill builder data, so it says students moved on average of 2 levels. Did I hear you say some students moved 13 levels within that? So that's a massive leap for,
Through you, Madam Chair, that's a good question. I think for some kids, they really seem to respond to the way that the program is presenting the skills, and it just seemed to come alive for them. I know the teachers sometimes were pretty wowed by how well the kids were moving through the program.
thanks, I've got a supplemental, if you will. It's another data point one. So I understood, I think the second graph, life skills and JSN classes, the increase in being able to problems correct out of 18 to go from, it looked like 6 to almost 12, so almost doubling that. The slide above it, I didn't understand quite as well. So could you maybe explain that one to me?
Through you, Madam Chair, of course. Yes, so that slide had to do with we call Acadian's Math Screener, is a screener that looks at students' ability to progress through the curriculum and be successful at the end of the year. That part of the screener is a computational math test. The kids get to spend about, I believe it's 3 minutes, answering as many addition and subtraction, I believe, questions as they can. I believe for the level that they were working on, it was up to maybe 2 digit numbers. And so it just looks to see how quickly they can come up with those answers. And we hope that because they're working on fluency in the program, it would increase just their ability to respond to those types of questions on this measure as we go along. Does that make sense?
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes, Trustee Lukatich Byers.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Chair. Just a question on the ECL classes. So I believe the ministry limits the number of students to 10 per class, right? And we have 10 locations. So I'm just wondering, are we able to meet all the needs of the students that would benefit from such a program? And if not, is there some kind of waiting list? Do we have any kind of measures in place potentially to kind of accommodate those students that might not be able to access the class?
Through you, Madam Chair. Yes, we look each year, we will look at students moving up because if they're moving from an intermediate or an elementary level, there will be room that will be made available to them for the following year. So at this point, we have spots available for all students. And sometimes parents choose not to, if a placement is offered, they choose not to take the placement. And so that does also create some extra room. And so at this point, we find that the number of classes that we currently have are sufficient to meet the needs of the students in our board.
Any other questions? I want to thank you very much for your presentation. You attempted to demystify system classes for us because we all see system classes and we all know that our most vulnerable learners are in our system classes, and we all wonder, well, how is it that they are progressing, or are they progressing? And of course, music to my ears are things like data-driven screening, evidence-based interventions, targeted support, and I love the me, we, you concept. I know for some of us that aren't as data-driven geeks as I am, it is a lot of information, but I think at the bottom of it, I think the last question that Trustee Colburn expressed was, kids are progressing because we know where they're starting, we know where we'd like them to be, and we know how we want to get them there. So I want to congratulate you all for using such innovative ways with these vulnerable learners to make sure that they're progressing through the curriculum. So thanks again for the presentation. And can I have a mover? And the motion on the table is that the memorandum from the Superintendent of Special Education and Student Services dated April 8th, 2026, and entitled Evidence-Based Practices and Interventions for System Classes, Scaling Up Support be received. Moved by Trustee Moore and seconded by Trustee Lukatich Byers. All in favor? Opposed and carried. Thank you very much. We have no new business. We have no notice of motions. Can I have a confirmation of the action report? And the motion is that the action report of March 24th, 2026 be received. Can it be moved by Chair Mullen? Seconded by Trustee Warren? That the action report of March 24th, 2026 be received. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Director Donahue, do we have any administrative announcements?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have no announcements, but we do have a birthday before our next board meeting, just a couple of days before our next board meeting. So I'd like to wish Trustee Warren, who's virtually, an early happy birthday. He'll be celebrating that, I believe, on April 26th. So happy birthday, Trustee Warren.
Yes, happy birthday. All right, we are going to adjourn, and the motion is that the regular meeting of the Board of April 14th, 2026 be adjourned at, and thank you for that lovely new clock, 8:02 p.m., moved by Trustee Coburn and seconded by Trustee Melito. All in favor? All in favor, opposed, and carried. Thank you all.